This is my homemade Vespera solar filter. It doesn't look like much, but it only cost me about $40, and that's because I had to buy the BAADAR Astro Safe film. But it does work pretty well. I don't have the $180 Vespera official OEM solar filter to compare against, but comparing it to the images I get from other smart telescopes with solar filters, I'm pretty happy with the image quality. So online, they say that a solar filter is identified with a 4.5 kilo ohm resistor. I don't have an 1/8 watt 4.5 kilo ohm resistor in stock, but I do have a 4.6 kilo ohm, which is pretty close. So I'm going to throw that on those posts there and see if that will trigger a solar filter detection event. And if so, I'm just going to use that guy. Alright, and that did work. It says solar filter on the right hand side there under the initialize button. So I can put that into my 3D printed filter here, and it will trigger a solar filter when I install the solar filter. Alright, my 3D printed dual band filter holder works so well, I decided to make a solar filter. So I printed another filter holder. I have verified that a 4.6 kilo ohm 1/8 watt resistor will trigger the solar filter detection here. And from Scope Stuff in Round Rock, Texas, I have purchased for about 36 bucks a big sheet of this BAADAR Astro Solar Safety Film. And I am going to attempt to put that film into this guy here so that I can use this guy to image the sun. Now, the OEM Vespera filter for solar imaging is like 180 bucks. So I already had a 3D printer, I already had a resistor. I did have to buy the solar film. If I mess up one, I can do another couple tries here. And so if this will work, I think it's a much more cost-effective way of being able to image the sun with this guy. So I've heard of other people using like copper foil or tin foil and soldering that to the end of the resistor. I've found that I just twist the resistor wires around into kind of a loop. I can fill that loop with solder, and if there's any resin left over, I just file it down. So I have a basically flat little silver solder tin pad there, and then you just glue the resistor in. I put a dab of UV curing glue in there, and then this guy here on top of that, and that'll hold the whole thing in place quite well. Okay, so the hard bit here is going to be attaching the foil to the filter. This inner ring is designed for a 50 millimeter, kind of 2-inch 50.8 millimeter astronomical filter to screw into it. It has little threads in there. It doesn't have a super flat or super wide surface. So the BAADAR instructions say, hey, put double-sided tape on your flat surface, stick it to the film, then stick another ring on top and sandwich it. And this isn't really sandwiching. It has an inner and an outer. So I'd be tempted just to put the film on it and then kind of pinch it down. The problem is you're not supposed to put tension on the film, and so pinching it down is obviously going to put tension on the film. So if I use double-sided tape, I actually found some very high bond double-sided tape that's about the right circumference here, so I wouldn't have to cut too much. I'd probably just cut 2 sections and do kind of half and half. This stuff is from Beats headphones if you're looking to buy some. But essentially, I could do double-sided tape, stick a thing to it. I wouldn't be able to put something on top, but I could take this guy and kind of lay it over the film. And hopefully, the fact that there's double-sided tape on the inside would mean I'd only be tensioning the film from the outside of the double-sided tape. And it would act as an extra precautionary grip to make sure the film doesn't come off the tape while I'm looking at the sun, or, pointing my expensive telescope at the sun. So I could see that working okay, but I have to make sure I don't put any tape on the outside of this ring so that I can get this outer ring over the top. There's a little gap between these two rings. I think it's big enough to get solar film between, because solar film's pretty thin. And, I think that would, seal down and work pretty well there. But it's really tempting to use super glue instead. is just put a very fine line of super glue here and drop it down on the film and hope it sticks to the film. The downside of super glue is that in the heat of the sun, it off-gases, and you definitely don't want super glue stuck to your lens. So I'd have to, if I did super glue, I would have to take this outside and put it in the sun and just let it off-gas for a couple of days before I used it on my telescope. I could use UV cure resin. The problem is this film blocks 99.99% of light, so I'd have to cure it from the backside, which means the UV light would have to go through this plastic. Now the plastic isn't super thick, it's kind of a light white translucency, so I think UV light would mostly go through it. But it would take a long time to cure, and I don't know if the UV cure resin has any problems with off-gassing either. So I think I'm going to go with double-sided sticky tape. If you don't have double-sided sticky tape, you might try the super glue approach. Just make sure you heat it up and off-gas it away from your telescope. Alright, so that double-sided tape doesn't look super great. About the best thing I can say for it is it's not going around the outside. There is some hanging over on the inside, but like I say, we don't need the full aperture for this thing. So I'm just going to peel that top red stuff off, and then we'll drop it down onto a piece of film, and then we will cut the film around the outside and put this guy on top. And I'm not too worried that the tape won't hold very well, just because this ring will be holding excess film down around the outside. So I think it'll, it will hold it in place pretty well there and keep it from popping off, even if the adhesion on this super thin double-sided tape isn't great. So mostly I'm using the double-sided tape to hold the film while I cut around the outside to fit the outer ring, and hopefully to keep the outer ring from excessively tensioning the film when I put the outer ring on. So we'll see how this works. Alright, so the double-sided tape is holding it. It doesn't appear to be under too much tension. They say a couple of wrinkles are okay. There's this funky bit right here that I'm not super happy about. I think it's where there's missing pieces of tape there maybe. But we're going to put this down and see how it works. I'm just trying hard not to touch the film that, at least not, I'm going to touch the side of the film, but not touch the film that's around the outside there. Trying hard not to touch the film that's actually part of the optical path. Alright, so if I'm tensioning film, I'm doing it now because I'm squeezing these two halves together, and they're mostly press fitting. I'll probably throw a little UV cure resin in that bit and that bit there to make sure they don't fall apart. So I cut this a little bit too short there. It didn't get stuck underneath, but just about everywhere else around it looks like it's stuck underneath. I might put some UV cure resin all the way around the outside, just as kind of an added safety feature, making sure the stuff stays down. I'll have to take it outside and look for pinpricks too, but it looks pretty good so far. So here goes nothing. Okay, so I've put clear UV curing resin around the outside of that solar filter. I'm also using that to hold the two pieces together at either end here. So essentially, I believe it is done. You can see I have just a little bit of a wrinkle over in that corner there, but otherwise it looks pretty good. I don't see lots of wrinkles, hopefully not too many things that are tensioning. Let's give it a shot if we can find the sun outside. Alright, I've used the little bubble level to level it pretty close to correct. And I put it in solar mode, and it's going to move the arm up, and my understanding here is it's going to stop before it hits like the horizon. And the idea here is that you then put the solar filter onto the end of the arm. I'm standing in front of it just in case it doesn't stop at the appropriate spot. Okay, so there it is, kind of pointing down at the horizon still a little bit. This thing says, hey, put in the solar filter. Put my solar filter on, and instead of saying filter not detected, it says confirm filter installation. So it did detect the filter, but it wants you to push the button anyways. Then you have to position the instrument. Turn the instrument so you get a line in the shadow here. So we basically turn this guy until we get that line to aim it basically in the right direction that way. It's kind of a clever way to get you to do the work for him. And then now it's resetting the arm position back to the bottom, and then it's going to go up and look for the sun. Now it's moving up, and it's basically, I think, just moving to where the sun's supposed to be. And then on the app here, it's basically just saying looking for the sun, and it's telling me little factoids about the sun to keep me busy while it's doing its thing. So it's kind of moving around just a little bit. So it appears to be doing a search pattern, like up and down and left and right. So I believe it has found the sun. It now says centering the sun instead of looking for the sun. So I believe it thinks it's found it, and it's just zeroing in on the center. Okay, now it says autofocus. So I believe it is focusing on probably the disk of the sun, although maybe it's actually looking at sunspots, although you're not guaranteed to have sunspots, so it might just be using the disk of the sun. So the autofocus takes a surprisingly long amount of time. You know, it's giving me a count up here. You know, it's gone, you know, it's doing 38%, 40%, and so forth. So it's not a speedy autofocus on the sun. Jumped from 86 to 100% on the autofocus. So it was lying a little bit to me about it. Now it says capturing started. And we have the fancy animation. And maybe 5 minutes after setting things up, we have an image of the sun. And it looks pretty good here. Now it says the sun raw. And I can save a photo. And I don't know what it means by raw, and if there's some way to change it from raw to something else. Now I can do other. There's Mercury, Venus, Earth. It's showing different sizes. So this is what the sun looks like viewed from Earth. This is what the sun would look like viewed from Venus. It just gets bigger. From Mercury, the sun would look really big, and then raw is, I'm assuming, what the sun looks like from Earth, because it seems like the Earth and the raw should be the same. Although the Earth is a very whitish. Let me go back to raw. And the raw has more of a yellowish tinge. So I think the raw is maybe the color with the filter directly, and then from the Earth is maybe, oh hey, there's a view from Mars. Oh hey, nice, and you can do Jupiter. Alright, so if you are on Neptune, the sun would be super small like that. If you are on Uranus, it would get a little bigger. If you are on Saturn, it would get a little bigger. They're also showing some stars around the sun. Some Jupiter, it gets a little bigger. From Mars, it gets bigger. This is what it would look like from Earth, which is presumably kind of what it looks like from Earth. Venus is a little bit bigger, and Mercury is quite large. Personally, I think I'll use the raw view most of the time. Now the sun is drifting just slightly here to the left, and I don't know, oh, I think it just corrected there. So it does look like it is tracking the sun. Now we can pinch and zoom to zoom into sunspots. The autofocus looks like it did a good job. Alright, so comparing this to my other smart telescopes like the S50, I think the image quality here is pretty comparable to the ZWO S50 with the solar filter. Alright, so when you stop the observation, it says it will move the arm to the horizon so you can safely remove the solar filter. Now I hit the button and it's working, but my arm actually went straight up in the air as opposed to down to the horizon, so I'm not sure what happened there. It says waiting for user. It says remove the filter and close the arm. I'm going to move the telescope inside the garage in the shade before I remove any filters. Alright, I do not have the $190 official OEM filter to compare this against, but quality-wise, compared to my other smart telescopes with solar filters, I think it's very good. The price was definitely correct. Alright, I remove the filter. I'm going to push the close arm button, and now it is closing the arm.